Isn't it crazy that an estimated 77% of dogs have dental disease? That's according to Banfield Pet Hospital's 2017 data on more than 2.5 million dogs. This means there's a high chance of your dog actually having dental disease as well, or maybe on the way of getting dental disease. Your dog's stinky breath, for instance, may be more than just an annoyance. Now, the question is, why do so many dogs have dental disease? Actually, what most people talk about is how to manage symptoms of dental disease, not to actually fix the cause. I mean, the cause may be buildup of plaque and calculus, and if we manage to remove that, we might be able to prevent dental disease. Though, why do dogs have so much buildup of plaque and calculus to begin with? And is there a way to fix the actual cause rather than just scrubbing it away? That's what we'll talk about in this video. Hi, I'm Ingunn, the Norwegian Viking behind Viking Dog Girl. I hold a certificate as a pet food nutrition specialist, and I'm here every week sharing all things dog. And I do it the Viking way, which means no sugarcoating and no BS. I want to share the truth with you so that you can help your dog be as happy, healthy, and live as long as possible. So, how do you know if your dog has dental disease? I mean, since it's so common, your dog might even have it already. Well, you'll have to ask your veterinarian to diagnose your dog, though here are some common symptoms that you may look for. Bad breath, red, swollen, or even bleeding gums, tartar buildup on the teeth, decreased appetite, weight loss, behavior changes, oral pain, nasal discharge. Your dog doesn't need to have all of these to actually have dental disease. So again, you'll need to ask your veterinarian to confirm. And another thing is that dogs don't always show us that they're actually in pain. So sometimes it can be difficult to tell whether or not our own dogs actually have health issues. So it's good to be aware of these symptoms and also notice any changes with your dog over time. Now, according to Banfield, periodontal disease is the most common disease in dogs and cats. And it's caused primarily by bacterial plaque that results in inflammation both above and below the gum line. Now, this may not sound like a huge deal, though here's also what Banfield says. The local infection can spread into the bone and supporting tissues of the teeth, causing oral infection, pain, and eventually tooth and bone loss. If left untreated, severe periodontal disease will result in severe pain, tooth loss, and chronic infection. Some scientists also believe that there's a link between dental disease and diseases of internal organs. The thing is though, we should always take health problems with our dogs seriously because there may always be some sort of connection with other things that are going on inside our dogs' bodies, even the general health of our dogs. I mean, whatever is causing dental disease in our dogs may be causing other health problems in our dogs as well, even if we're not seeing them as clearly as plaque and calculus on our teeth, on our dog's teeth. There's so much going on inside our dogs' bodies that we are simply not aware of, or that our dogs simply cannot tell us about because they're not able to show us that I have pain right here, for instance. So whenever we do see any health issues with our dogs, we should take them seriously. Now, what can we do to help prevent dental disease? The most common things to do is to try to get rid of buildup of plaque and calculus. And there are several ways to do this, mainly 3. One of them is to brush our dog's teeth. Now, there are lots of people doing this every single day. They brush their dog's teeth just like they brush their own, basically. And that can be a good thing, though should it really be necessary for us to clean our dog's teeth when they don't even know how to do anything like that themselves? Is that even natural? Should it really be necessary? Another way is to go see a dog dentist on a regular basis that will properly clean your dog's teeth. Now, there are some risks to doing this because they will most likely put your dog under general anesthesia, and that's not necessarily something we just want to do for our dogs if it's not necessary, because there's always a risk to doing something like this. Now, the third option is in my opinion, a bit more natural because you give your dog something to chew on so that they basically clean their own teeth. Now, there are some dog treats that are supposed to help with removing plaque and calculus on dogs' teeth, and I'm not really a big fan of those. And one of the reasons is that they contain a kind of food that may actually be one of the main causes of buildup and of plaque and calculus to begin with. And I'll get to what that food is shortly. Though instead of giving your dog treats or letting your dog chew on, for instance, toys, you can give them bones to chew on, which would be, of course, way more natural, seeing as that's something they would naturally do in the wild. Now, a recent study on 12 beagle dogs found that letting dogs chew on bovine bones over the course of 14 days quickly helped to remove dental calculus. According to the authors of the study, bones promote the reduction of almost 90% of dental calculus over the teeth. So bones can be a natural and possibly also pretty efficient way of keeping plaque and calculus at bay for dogs. Though it is important what type of bones you choose, and I'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. Now, the three methods I've just mentioned can help in keeping plaque and calculus at bay, though it doesn't really look at the cause of why there is so much buildup of plaque and calculus to begin with. So, what causes the buildup of plaque, and is there something we can do to fix that cause? By the way, if you enjoy this kind of no BS, give it to you straight kind of videos on all things dog, then make sure you click the subscribe button and turn on notifications to follow my channel. And remember to follow me on Instagram at Viking Ingun. Now, since dental disease is caused primarily by bacterial plaque, we really should be looking at how plaque forms to begin with, right? Maybe there's a way we can keep plaque from actually forming to begin with. Well, for us humans at least, plaque forms when certain types of carbs, like starch and sugar, interact with bacteria in our mouth. And on that note, it's important to know that most dog food out there actually contain lots and lots of carbs. Even premium dog food may contain as much as 50 or even 60% carbs. Dry dog food, for instance, actually requires starch because of the process of making dry dog food, a process called extrusion. The starch is basically required to work as a kind of cement to keep those kibble bits together. And on top of that, ingredients high in carbs can be some of the cheapest ingredients. Of course, dog food manufacturers try to make it sound like a good thing to have the specific type of carbs that they add. And even more so, they usually don't even feature that they have a high carb content. They feature all the meat ingredients that they have in the food, even if there are more carbs than meat. So looking at dog food packaging, it can be a bit deceiving or difficult to tell whether or not we're feeding a high carb diet to our dogs. Though if you're feeding dry dog food, you can kind of assume that you are feeding a high carb diet to your dog because, as mentioned, dry dog food actually requires starch. Now, the thing to remember now is that dogs do not require carbs in their diet. And a natural diet for dogs doesn't really contain much carbs at all. So could dog food actually be the reason so many dogs now have dental disease? What do you think? Now, if what we feed our dogs really have so much to say on whether or not our dogs have buildup of plaque and calculus and then possibly can get dental disease, shouldn't we really be looking at whether or not we should change our dog's diet? As mentioned, a natural diet for dogs is very low in carbs. Just think about this. What would dogs eat in the wild? A carnivore dog would simply hunt and eat other animals. Actually, a veterinarian from Australia, Tom Lonsdale, who's well known for promoting a natural meat-based diet for dogs, did a kind of experiment that I wanted to mention to you. What he did was that he took 4 healthy dogs that had been previously fed natural kind of raw meaty bones kind of diet and started feeding them a dry commercial dog food for 17 days. prior to the experiment, the dog's teeth were very nice and white and pretty. Though after those 17 days on the dry commercial dog food, just 17 days, they all had stinky breath, yellow teeth, sore and bleeding gums. Now, this is just one experiment, though here's the thing. So many people who switched their dogs from commercial dog food to a completely natural, real food diet see amazing health benefits, including whiter, cleaner teeth and better breath. They basically do the opposite of what Tom Lonsdale did in his experiment. They go from commercial dry dog food, for instance, or commercial dog food in general, to a completely natural, real food diet. And they see amazing benefits. Now, when it comes to our dog's teeth, for instance, switching from a commercial dog food to a natural diet and seeing these benefits, there can be different reasons why we see these benefits. It can be the low carb content of these natural diets. It could be the inclusion of bones in the diet, or it could even have something to do with the dog becoming healthier overall. Or it can have or it could be a combination of all of these. In the end, though, it really does seem to have something to do with the diet itself. And going for a completely natural diet just makes sense, doesn't it? Dogs have evolved to eat meat and other animal products. Those are the foods that dogs can get the necessary nutrients from in the right forms. That's real food and unprocessed. And sadly, it's very far from what most people feed their dogs today. Because we have been told for so long that dog food is what dogs should be eating. Even though most dog foods is highly processed. And we know for us humans that whole foods is the healthiest. So isn't it time that we went back to what's actually natural for our dogs? A completely natural real food diet for dogs may contain meat, organ meat, which is highly nutritious, and raw meaty bones. When feeding bones, it's important to remember to always feed them raw, because cooked bones can be much harder and more easily splinter. And the type of bones to choose is also important because it needs to fit the dog. In general, you want to choose bones that are soft enough for your dogs to actually consume, if that's what you're looking for. Though it's also important to make sure your dog doesn't swallow fairly large pieces of bone. For recreational bones, which can be nice for the dogs and also help with some teeth cleaning and keeping them busy for a while, the dog won't actually eat the bone, or the whole bone at least, would just chew on it for a while. So for this, you'll want to choose a large enough bone for your dogs to actually not consume the whole thing. Now listen, this kind of diet is naturally very low in carbs, and it's the kind of diet that our dogs are designed to eat. It's real food and it's 100% natural. You may of course add some vegetables, for instance, though the animal products is what dogs are designed to digest and absorb nutrients from. Now, the best way to feed a 100% natural diet, where you know exactly what's going into the diet and you're in complete control, is to feed a homemade diet. And the thing is, feeding a homemade diet can be super simple and even take as little as 5 minutes on a day-to-day basis. If you'd like to know how you may feed such a diet to your dog, then you should really check out the Viking Dog Diet system. The Viking Dog Diet system is a system based on science that shows you step by step how to feed a completely natural, nutritious and delicious homemade diet to your dog. It's a simple system that includes meal examples, how to build your own diet for your dog, and even how to transition your dog meal by meal to this new diet. Actually, it's not really a new diet because this is the kind of diet our dogs have evolved to eat over thousands and thousands of years. So it's really going back to what's natural for our dogs. If you want to check it out, then head over to vikingdogdiet.com right now. Remember, dog food really doesn't seem to have been doing our dogs that good, especially seeing as an estimated 77% of dogs actually have dental disease today. Now, diet may not be the only cause, though it's certainly a main concern. And we really should be looking at how to actually fix the cause rather than just treat the symptoms. Don't you agree? So let's help our dogs by feeding the best possible diet. Make sure you click the thumbs up and share this video so that we can help more of those many dogs out there get healthier teeth. As always, give your beautiful dog a hug from me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.